Okay, guys, we're on chapter 6, section 2, the first lesson. What makes a value expression equal? So you're going to be introduced to a new expression mat. This is just the equal mat. But before we do that, we're going to be kind of doing a review with problem 648. So I'm going to go ahead and read the intro for you. In the last section, you figured out how to determine what values of x make one expression greater than the other. In this lesson, you will study what can be learned about x when two expressions are equal. As you work today, focus on these questions. And so these are the questions. What if both sides are equal? Is there more than one way to simplify? What values of x will make the expressions equal? So the nice thing about this versus inequality is that when both sides are equal, we're only looking for one solution to make both sides equal. Okay? And then reviewing the same things as before, what it is to simplify. So that means zero pairs, removing balanced pairs from both sides, or matching pairs from both sides, and adding matching pairs from both sides so that you can do zero pairs. So those are what we're going to be reviewing. So let's do 648, and I'll do this one for you. And this will be a review for you. So, choosing a price plan. It says Sandeep works at a bowling alley that currently charges players $3 to rent shoes and $4 per game. However, his boss is thinking about charging $11 to rent shoes and $2 per game. So A, it says if the customers rent the shoes and plays 2 games, will he or she pay more with the current price plan or the new price plan? How do you know? So, things to look about and worry about is how do we translate this right here, $3 to rent shoes and $4 per game, and this new plan, $11 to rent shoes and $2 per game, into expressions. So key thing here, per. That usually means multiply for me. Okay, and here also multiply. So that means we need to go ahead and use the expression mat or equation mat, and we're going to use that to help us solve this. Okay, so I have right over here set on this comparison mat, you got the original and the new. $3 to rent shoes and $4 per game. $11 to rent shoes and $2 per game. So $4 per game, if we say game is X, then that means we have 4X. And then $3 to rent, that means plus 3. So every game you play, you multiply it times 4 and add $3 for the shoes. Same thing here for the new one, $2 per game, so that means game is X, so 2 times X, and add $11 extra to pay for the shoes. Okay, so now we have these two to actually solve and simplify to see which one is better. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Okay, so I built my expression for each side. I have 4x plus 3 on one side, and that's the original. And I have here 2x plus 11, which is on the other side. So let's now go back to A. So it says A, if the customer plays 2 games, will he or she pay more for the current price or the other? Show how you know. So looking at this, that means x will be 2. So that means for each one, I'm going to replace the x's with the value of 2. So you can see I've already set that up for us on each side. So all I have to do is now add it all up. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8 plus 3 gives me 11. So the cost is $11 for the original. For the new plan, 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 11 gives me $15. So you can see the new plan is more expensive than the original plan. So now let's go back to B. Okay, B says if the customer bowls 7 games, which plan is cheaper? So now, instead of actually using algebra tiles, let's do this just mathematically. So I set up the comparison mat with x equaling 7 on both sides. And you can see by doing this, I could actually solve it this way, by replacing x with 7 and doing repeated addition to figure out which is bigger. However, if you notice over here on the right, I have it set up here how you would do it algebraically. So replacing x with 7, so then we have 4 times 7 plus 3. For 2x plus 11, we have 2 times 7 plus 11. So multiplying 4 times 7, you get 28. 28 plus 3 then gives you the new cost. Over here, 2 times 7 plus 11. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 11 will give you that new cost. So you can see the cost now for the original is $31 and the cost for the new one is $25. So The reality is, you can see in comparison to two games, it's actually cheaper to do the original one if you're only playing two or less games. But the more games you play under the new one, it's actually cheaper based on how if you're playing more than obviously two games. You can see it gets cheaper as you play more games on the bowling. Okay, so that hopefully explains. It gives you two ways you can actually solve it. Just make sure you replay this. If you have any questions, also make sure you record them down. You can ask them for me. So make sure you take your notes. Do some good notes, okay, for this, not just the guided questions, because you want to be able to start off, because the next problem goes based off of this problem here. Okay, get a good night's sleep, and I'll see you guys the next day. Okay, bye.